Coming up next, right here on In the Hot Seat, of course, as always, we got a great show lined up for you guys. And with some of the things that we will be talking about, going into Justin Gabriel and his push lately, how do we feel about that? What's going to happen with him going into 2012? And as well, Vince Russo, thank God, finally has been fired and released out of TNA. What's going to happen with TNA going into 2012 now that Vince Russo is gone? We will give our thoughts on that as well. And as well with Kevin Nash, where the hell has he been? We haven't seen him for a while, so we will talking about Kevin Nash and a couple of other things that I do have planned right here for this week's episode for In the Hot Seat, so you guys cannot miss it. Of course, it's coming up next, and you know what's next as well. Roll that damn intro.
You are watching the most interactive professional wrestling discussion show on the internet. WWE Impact Wrestling,
ROH Wrestling,
pro wrestling at its finest on In the Hot Seat with your host, Fort Miners Project.
Alright, what's going on, guys, and welcome to this week's episode for In the Hot Seat. Of course, as always, I got a great show lined up for you guys, and as well, I'm being joined by my guest at this time. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm back. This is my second time, actually. It's Rock Hopper Quest. I don't know if anybody knows me. I'm kind of a jobber in the YWC.
Alright, it's a pleasure to have you here back on the show. Of course, as always, I got a couple of things to be talking about. And I'm going to kick things off here, and that's with Justin Gabriel. And how do you feel about him overall, and how do you feel about his push? And do you think he will win at least a mid-card championship or any championships so far in the future for 2012?
Oh, man. Justin Gabriel, man. This guy's been my favorite talent for, man, ever since I ever saw him in FCW for the first time. Really was just like, man, this guy's got some talent. This guy's going to be big guy in WWE, you know. I know it sounds crazy, but I could say by the end of the year, I could see this guy as a WWE champion. I could see them pushing him to the point where he's up there becoming like wrestling Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, Tyler Black. When all those guys go up there, I could see just something happening between all of them. It would be so crazy if he finally gets that big push he deserves. I mean, this guy has worked his butt off, you know, for years, and I think if he does deserve something, it would be a mid-card title. I think he deserves a world title even more, because if you just look at his history, you know, he's done so much that people just haven't recognized that he deserves a world title.
Yeah, and with me, I actually like Justin Gabriel. I like what they're doing. We saw a little feud going with him and Cody Rhodes, so I don't know if that's been put on hold as of right now. So I think it would be cool to have Justin Gabriel and Cody Rhodes again and to have that feud continue and eventually have Justin Gabriel win it there and to have to see what they're going to do and how he's going to present himself with the Intercontinental Championship. I think that would be good for him and face other guys. And with him and Heath Slater, I thought they were a good tag team. I wasn't too sure how they were going to do as singles competitors, but as of right now, I think on Justin Gabriel's side anyway, he's doing really well for himself, so hopefully they keep it up and don't mess up anything with this push going for him. So I do definitely see at least a mid-card championship for Justin Gabriel. World Heavyweight Championship, that's a little bit too soon, so I think we might see that more going into 2013 for next year, so I think that would be cool there. Go ahead.
I also think that it's a good thing for WWE's international. WWE is trying to get out to these other countries where they can see them and see their thoughts and get more fans out in these other countries. And I think it would be great if they put these guys over that are from those other countries and not just these guys that are from here. You know, they actually start using some more talent from other countries so that people see, oh, they're actually using our talent and we can watch this product. And hey, he's the face of our country. Let's watch this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another good thing that's actually helps them out too there on that part. So that's a good note there. Going into the next topic here, and that's continuing on with Cody Rhodes here. And do you think this feud with Cody Rhodes and as well Goldust will happen after Elimination Chamber? Do you think as well we will see that for the Intercontinental Championship going into WrestleMania 28 if indeed that does happen?
Well, I could see him and Cody Rhodes going into Elimination Chamber wrestling. I could see Goldust coming out with the win. and him holding the Intercontinental title, and then him and Gabriel feud, like we were just saying,
Mm-hmm.
and have all three of them go to Mania. That's what I would love to see. I mean, that'd be such a great feud. And people are saying, "Oh yeah, I want to see Rhodes versus Goldust Mania." You know, I do too. Believe me, but I think it would be even better if we saw it a three with Gabriel.
Oh,
It's
wow.
just my
Yeah.
personal opinions. I really want to see that.
Yeah, and I never thought about that. I think that would be actually pretty cool there. So I never actually thought about that. But hopefully, with this whole thing with Goldust and as well Cody Rhodes, we saw what Cody Rhodes can do with Booker T. So I'm sure Booker T will somehow get involved into this one as well, and we'll see that feud in the way kind of continue with that. And I think it would be pretty cool to have the Intercontinental Championship on the line since it's very rarely put on the line at WrestleMania. So. I think it would be a nice match and have a good build up going into it with Cody Rhodes. So I think that would be absolutely tremendous there. But yeah, is there anything else you want to add to that going into that match anyway in the feud and everything?
I'm just scared if they put that on Mania that it would become the dark match and the
Mm-hmm.
extra on the DVD, you know,
Oh, yeah.
because that's like pretty much what happened last year with who was it, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus.
Yeah, I mean that was an excellent match, especially there live. That was a great match, and you know, if they put that on TV, it just would have been so much better. But you know, these matches, these young talents aren't getting as much spotlight as they deserve. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's sad. They deserve a lot more spotlight. Not these, you know, these older guys. They do deserve the spotlight because it's making them money. But you
Right.
know, I think they need to start giving these younger guys a push a little better.
Yeah.
But personal opinion.
Yeah, personally, I don't think that's going to be left out. I don't see why they would leave that out as a DVD extra. I think that would be somehow added and that be a part of the main card, which I think would be cool. So I don't really see that happening. But as a part of the main card, yeah, most definitely, I'm sure that would for sure happen. And getting into the next topic here, and that is Kevin Nash. We actually haven't seen him since TLC with his match with Triple H and everything, and now he's been out for quite a while. And do you think he will be returning as a member of the active roster, or do you think this is it for Kevin Nash? And what are your thoughts about that?
Oh man, I think they're just gonna keep Kevin Nash as just a talent for behind stage things where he could be like a. I think he's gonna end up being like a old Vince McMahon back in the '80s when he used to commentate, but like him be like a Mean Gene. Like I don't know how to really explain it. Like him be someone backstage that's interviewing people, an interviewer, someone just backstage. I don't really see him as becoming a character in WWE right now. There's no room for him. I
Mm-hmm.
can't see anything right now. I mean, they use the him and Triple H thing. They use him and Punk pretty much already. I mean, the only person that they could really use him against is Kane, and just I don't see two heels going against each other. I don't think that they'd turn Kevin Nash a face that easy, and I don't think they'd do the same for Kane. So I don't even know.
Yeah, the last I heard from Kevin Nash was that he was going to be with his family and everything. So after that, I don't really know what's going to be happening with him or the plans going with him. Originally, I thought we were going to have Kevin Nash and Triple H at WrestleMania to end their feud there, but of course, obviously, that's not going to happen. Now we're going to have Triple H and The Undertaker Part 3. So I'm not really too sure. Hopefully, we will see Kevin Nash at least have a match maybe at WrestleMania or something like that, and maybe there's some saving of his plans with that later on for this year, and eventually have a spot in the Hall of Fame and all that good stuff. So, but
Kevin
yeah,
Nash,
go ahead.
just throwing it out there. You know, I've personally met Kevin Nash three
Okay.
times,
Oh, awesome.
and I mean, people say how he's a good guy. You know, he's really not. You know, he's good in the ring in some matches. He's an okay promo cutter, but this guy in real life, he's the biggest jerk in the world. I was there, and there was a guy in a military suit. Like he was a military. He was in the military, and he was denied an autograph from Kevin Nash. Kevin
Mm.
Nash was signing one autograph per fan at the event. So he said, "No, it doesn't matter if you were in the military. I'm still only going to sign you one." And I thought that was so disrespectful. Like
Oh,
I wish I would have gotten that on video because you know people would really see how Kevin Nash is. I don't respect him at all.
Mm,
It's just messed up. But I could see WWE still using him even after saying comments like that.
mm,
WWE is just, they're going to use him for the fans of the older eras. So that they say, oh, these guys are still in it, I got to watch it. But they
mm.
say give these younger guys a push.
Yeah, and I respect your opinion on that, but I haven't really heard anything else bad about Kevin Nash until that, so I'm not really too sure if he's actually like that since you mentioned that. So that's definitely interesting there. But as far as going back to his match with Triple H, I thought that was a good old school like match, and I enjoyed that. So hopefully we will see, like I mentioned, another match at him if indeed he does return. But anyway. That's about it with that, with thoughts on Kevin Nash. And going into the main event here, if you will, and going into the last topic, and that is Vince Russo actually finally leaving Impact Wrestling, and now we have a new former WWE writer going as the head writer for Impact Wrestling. And how do you feel about that? Is there any changes at all? Do you think that's going to happen? And what do you think is going to happen next for TNA and your overall thoughts?
Oh yeah, man. Since Vince Russo left, I mean, this guy, I got to give him props for the NWO stuff. I got to give him props for all of the great WCW stuff he did. But I'm not going to give him props for all this TNA crap. He ruined some guys' futures. He's given all these older guys these big, huge pushes, and it's like these guys, they could barely even move in the ring. And he's here pushing them like crazy, saying, "Oh, they're the future. They're the past." But I don't want to rant on any wrestler specifically, but it's just crazy. But
Yeah.
ever since TNA really did hire head of creative, a new one, I think it would be a lot better for TNA if they did that because TNA needs someone else that knows actually what they're doing, that knows something that they can do that's good for their future. They'll actually put them on the map that people will see. Oh, this is an alternative to WWE. But like Chris Jericho said in an interview and a shoot, just like a 20-minute shoot, he said no one will ever be as high as the WWE. No one can touch it. TNA will never be up there. Nothing. But I think TNA, if they make the right moves, I think they can do it. They just aren't trying and they're not putting their name out there hard enough, and they're doing too many things like giving away their merchandise, sending people everywhere, giving away all this stuff, and that's losing money for them that they could be using to promote their name out there even more.
Yeah, and with this one, I think TNA is gonna be doing at least somewhat better. There's still a lot of stuff to be fixed, so I am happy that they at least got rid of Vince Russo and everything. So far that is a step in the right direction, and I have been enjoying TNA as of late. So of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff to fix, especially with promoting themselves more, definitely a lot more, and getting more fans. And especially hopefully we will see them go out on the road more since I have been enjoying their shows out on the road and more than their actual shows in Orlando and everything. Um,
Yeah, that's
mm,
that's what I was gonna say.
yeah,
Over in Orlando, the shows are so much different than going to see a house show. The
right.
house shows that TNA puts on are phenomenal. Like, there's a YouTuber out there. I'm not gonna just throw a plug out there, so that it's out there. But I'm not gonna do anything like that. But they went to 3 house shows in 1 week. They had the same card, but he said every single night was different. The match style, and
Mm-hmm.
every single night it progressed and got better and better. And that's a good thing about TNA house shows. They could put on the same exact matches, but they can be different every night and still entertain the fans. And that's amazing. If you go to all 3 nights and
Mm-hmm.
see the same matches 3 times and still enjoy it, that's when you know you're good.
Right.
That's how I know TNA's doing the right thing with these house shows. The house shows,
Mm-hmm.
they're a lot more funner than these
Mm-hmm.
TNA shows over in Orlando. But don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of fun over there in Orlando. I try to go to it
Yeah.
about once every 2 months. But
Yeah, they still have some good shows in Orlando too, but I think they should definitely expand a lot more, which is one of their weaknesses as of right now. So I think going into 2012, they're going to be doing hopefully a lot more better things, and have a good future and everything like that, which I hope so. We'll have
Yeah.
to wait and see exactly what's going to be actually happening throughout 2012. But as of right now, so far, I have been enjoying the product as of late, and really not too many bad things. So hopefully they will keep it up and actually do a lot more better. But that's basically it when it comes to all the topics and everything. Is there anything else you want to talk about or give you any thoughts and opinions on, or any shout outs for that matter before we end the show?
Um, well, I don't really want to plug anybody, so I want to plug people, but it would take too long because I want to plug all my friends. But I just wanted to thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Um, and yeah, support ROH, support indie wrestling because that's where you're gonna really see these future stars because all these guys are going up to FCW. If you didn't hear, Chris Hero
Mhm.
got signed up to WWE now. Or,
Yeah.
was it Chris Hero? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Chris here, yeah.
And you gotta watch ROH. You gotta watch all this stuff because that's where this talent's coming from. Your world heavyweight champion from ROH. You gotta start watching your indies. You'll learn a lot about wrestling that way.
All right, well, it's a pleasure to have you here back on the show, and be sure, guys, to definitely, of course, to comment on what we talked about. Feel free to leave a like on this video, and as well, feel free to have the discussion continue, and as well, if you want, feel free to leave a video response, whichever you feel like doing. It's fine by me. But until then, this has to do it for this week's episode for In the Hot Seat. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it, and until then, of course, as always, I will talk to you guys later on. Peace.